Welcome to Rawson Family Pianos. I'm Chris Rawson. Today we're going to be looking at the Physis V100 just to give you an introduction to it and how to work it, because it has a lot of lights on it. Can be kind of intimidating at first, but it's really well laid out. So this piano is very, very deep. It has a lot of capabilities. So I'm going to show you a few of them. So to get started, we have a very nice touch display screen. On the left we have volume control. Then we have a selection of different instrument categories. We also have a memory selection. Then the main screen, where you can set your touch sensitivity, you can transpose, you can go to songs, you can set on a metronome. You have the navigation. And on the right we have effects, reverb, equalizer, mixer, sound edit, function menu, song demo menu, so you can record and play back, and the view menu, so you can change the settings on the screen. On the right, all the way, is just the on standby switch. So you press that twice to turn it off and once to turn it back on. The main switch is kind of hidden. It's located just underneath here on the right hand side. So if you first get it, you can't figure out where to turn it on, that's where it is. So to start out, you can use the volume control to slide left and right, make the volume higher or lower. You can pick an instrument, so let's say I pick a piano. Then I can pick from the pianos there by tapping the plus minus, or I can slide it, or I can tap and hold. I like piano number 33, so I have that on a preset. Now the Physis piano is quite a bit different than other digital pianos in that the instrument that you're playing is actually a four-dimensional model. It's a 3D model that interacts in real time. It's not a recording. So that means that you get to go into any of the sounds in the piano and edit them. So to do that, we go over here to Sound Edit. When we press Sound Edit, it gives us a really nice display of all the options that we have to choose from. So we have our sound engine here, our compressor, our amplifier, our effects, and an equalizer. And you notice there's a little arrow, and this is a flow chart. So right now we have the sound engine on, but we do not have the compressor, amplifier, or effects on, so the line flows around those boxes and continues through the equalizer. So to start out, we're going to select the sound engine. I'm going to use the arrows here to go over to the sound engine box. I'm going to press enter. Once I'm in the sound engine box for the piano, I can change the hammer, the tuning, the string type, the resonance, or the size of the piano. So just to select the size of the piano, I'm going to press enter, because that box is selected. Then I can go over to the main size control, and I can slide it down to shorten the length of the piano. Or I can increase it. You're actually changing the dimensions of the model in the computer. So pretty wild. Let's exit out of there. Let's try a different instrument. So if we're going to edit, let's say a mallet, we can go into the mallet that we want. I'm going to slide down to mallet number 1 just to make it simple. I'm going to go to Sound Edit, enter the sound engine, and I have all those choices. So I'm going to change the mallet material. I'm going to go to really soft mallet, all the way down. Or I can go make it really hard mallet, all the way up. So to save that, once I've made that change, I exit out of there, I go to Utility, and then I hit Save. And that becomes number 33. Numbers 1 through 32 are all factory presets, so they don't change regardless of what you do. Once you make your own sounds, it's 33 and onward. I wanted to show you a little bit more about the flow chart on the Physis piano. The flow chart allows you to add as many of those boxes as you want. So for instance, we always will have the sound engine because that's where our sound is produced. But I'm going to go to the right and I'm going to add a compressor. So this is the piano before. When I tap down, that adds the compressor. To edit the compressor, I press enter, and that allows me to change the settings in the compressor to the way that I like. If we turn off the compressor, we can, or we can add an amp. And go into the amp. And you can choose different types of tubes, how much drive you want, what type of compressor. It's a very, very deep machine, so you can really go to town trying out different things and seeing what works for your instrument. Effects, same thing. You get a lot of different effects to choose from. Some are different by instrument. You get to choose how deep it is, how much of it there is. You can just play around with it and have fun. Equalizer. You can go in, and this is a parametric equalizer that's explained in the next tutorial. Once you've added the instruments or the effects boxes that you want, then you can go to Utility and hit Save. And then that will save whatever you've added to that instrument so that it's just the way you like. The piano has several equalizers built into it to help you get the best sound. The graphic equalizer is pretty easy to understand. You can adjust bass, low mid, mid, and high treble for strength. The parametric equalizer allows you to be a little bit more surgical with it. So you do have low frequency and high frequency, but you also have the bandwidth, the gain, and the frequency. So for instance, if I wanted to have a little bit more sound in the middle of the piano, I would set the frequency to somewhere in the middle of the piano. That's around 365, somewhere around there. And then I would set the gain to add a little bit more to that frequency. So that makes the middle of the piano stronger. Now to set how far from the middle that I want that strength to go, I can change the bandwidth. So if I want it to be very localized, so just a few notes in the middle, then I would want it less. If I wanted a wider area, I would want the bandwidth to be greater so that I'm affecting a wider area. Also, if I wanted to make that place a little bit less intense in the middle, I would make the gain negative. So that way it would reduce the volume of the middle of the piano in regard to the rest of it. So anyway, there are a lot of things that you can do with the equalizer, and each instrument allows you to save its own parametric equalizer so that you can get the best sound out of it that way. But generally, for the general equalizer, I find that for both music and for the piano and other instruments that I like the setting as shown here. A little bit more bass and a little bit more treble, and the piano just sounds gorgeous. The Physis piano has a series of demos that are in it for each instrument. So to access those, you would touch Sound Edit and then F1. That gives you a sample of the sound of the instrument that you have selected. And choose a different one. So now we're on piano 33. I'm going to select Sound Edit and Demo. To to record your own songs, you can go to Song Demo, then Record, New Song, and it's giving me the option of Song 19, so I'm going to hit Enter. And normally it starts with a metronome, but I don't like the metronome, so I'm going to go to Setup and turn the metronome off. It still gives you a few beats to start out with. And when you're ready to record, you can start recording. And then you can stop the recording. And if you want, you can leave it like that, or you can press F1 to record over it.